Hello and welcome to this review of my Cypher 96 keyboard. Apologies for my voice, I caught a rather nasty bug that put me in bed for a week, hence why this one took longer to put out than I'd hoped. In any case, this is yet another donation by Epomaker, thanks guys. From the same series I've previously reviewed this Cypher 21, which is a standalone numpad with integrated calculator. This one also has a calculator in it, but it's obviously a whole keyboard rather than just a numpad. There is another model, the 81 in the series, but it doesn't have a calc in it, just a little display screen. Design-wise, I'd actually say the series doesn't share much beside the name. The reason I agreed to do this review is obviously the calculator. If you're familiar with my older material, you'll probably know that my favorite keyboard manufacturer is Focus Electronic, a now defunct company who used to make boards with all kinds of funky stuff on it, most notably calculators, such as on this FK9000. Epomaker feels like a modern reincarnation of them because they also have boards with wacky stuff on them, and they also tend to share the same kind of build quality. But I should probably stress that having a calculator on your keyboard isn't a gimmick, it's a genuinely useful feature if you work a lot with numbers. For example, I've worked with calc keyboards a lot during my PhD and they were fantastic. It depends on your use case of course, but I highly recommend it if during your work you do a lot of quick maths.
2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3, quick maths.
The calculator in this one is pretty nice. It's a backlit LCD with up to 10 digits. You can toggle between numpad and calculator with FN plus num lock, and it blocks PC input so that you don't put out a bunch of numbers on your computer when you're doing calculations. In calc mode, numlock works as a clear button, like so, which I found very intuitive as well. I didn't even have to look it up, I just assumed that it worked like that, and it did. Unlike the focus boards, there are no extra keys for additional calc functions such as powers, 1 divided by x, square root, or even memory keys. It's just the standard numpad operations. In other words, it's basic, but okay. Still, I'd have liked it if they added some extra actions. I mean, even without putting on extra keys, they could have used layers or something. That would have been pretty good. Even better would have been a send key, which was on the FK9200. This outputs the content of your calculator to your PC, and I found it to be extremely useful. You just do a quick calculation and then you output it to a spreadsheet cell or a note or whatever. Really excellent. I hope they do that on future models. The rest of the keyboard is actually kind of vanilla. The chassis isn't as flimsy as the previous Epomakers I covered. It flexes a bit, but I'm not going to show you that because it makes the display glitch, so I'm not sure how good that is for it. It's also a fair bit heavier at almost exactly 1.1 kilos, or if you prefer gibberish instead of measurement units, 2.43 pounds. This weight is a bit surprising for an all-plastic build. I think it might be because it has 2 batteries in it, both 4000 mAh. That's quite a lot. I suspect it's there to compensate for the extra power drain of the LCD. In any case, it's not going to win the Tank of the Year competition or anything, but it's okay. I've seen worse from them. The switches are the linear, pistachio and lavender coloured Wisteria ones I've covered before. They're mega generic 3.6mm linears with MX red weighting, exactly like in the last 2 reviews. I mean, is this all there is on the market nowadays or something? Is 3.6mm reds the incumbent MX fad switch? At least the board is hot swappable. The keycaps are fairly thick PBT double shots with Cherry Legends in baby blue. I'm not a fan of the colour scheme personally. It makes it look like a keyboard you'd give to a 2-year-old or something. Just plain white or black or anything else really would have been a lot better, I think. Especially considering this is probably supposed to be an office keyboard. The keycap quality itself is not all that great. The bold letters like these, they're all fine, but the ones with thin lettering are quite inconsistent at times. Next up is the layout. This is a 96% form factor, which is effectively an 1800 minus the top right 4 buttons because the screen takes up that space. It's characterized mainly by the arrow keys getting shunted in between the alpha block and the numpad, like here. Now, in principle, this layout allows you to gain some space while sacrificing relatively few keys, and as far as I know, the 1800 layout is fairly popular among keyboard enthusiasts. However, personally, I don't really care for it. I mean, sure, it has a lot of keys, so it's a lot less clumsy than, say, a 60% keyboard. but I dislike that the arrow keys are a lot harder to navigate to, as that characteristic gap that's normally here has been taken away, so you can't easily just find these keys without looking and just grabbing the keyboard. The room is just not there. Also, the keys this omits here are the home, end, page up and page down keys, and the latter two are very useful in Tarkov and also Beyond All Reason, which I've been playing a lot as of late, so I do really miss them. It's also just a bit more cramped here, but frankly I don't mind the smaller key sizes as much as I do that they're harder to feel out. What it comes down to is this: on paper it might not look like it's so different from a full size, but in practice the difference is more keenly felt than you'd think. Now, like I said, this is a popular layout, so they probably made the right choice here, but personally I'd have preferred a proper full size. I mean, this is obviously optimized for office use, right? So you might as well go all the way. Don't need extra mouse space for quick scoping while you're putting in your spreadsheets. A short word about the RGB: it's actually pretty good, though without transparent legends you can only see it between the keys, of course. I think it looks nice though. I don't mind opaque legends myself, especially as it's really hard to make good looking transparent ones. It's also got extra RGB underglow at the sides, but it's so weak that I must admit I only noticed them one day before I started writing this script, so they're not quite as obvious as you might think. Maybe it stands out more in darkness or something. Finally, there's the cost. It's $90 undiscounted. Now, for an 1800 with a genuinely useful feature, I'd say this is not too bad. Like I said, it's not built like the battleship Potemkin, but it's not like you're going to need a weapons-grade keyboard for your office anyway. Personally, I'd have done the keyboard a bit different in terms of looks and layout, but it's not bad value in my opinion. Who knows, maybe this will end up serving in the lab one day. That's it for this review. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and following is a typing demonstration of me typing on this keyboard.